Hey, we're live.
We live.
How's everyone doing? We got so far in the house. I like UK. Looks like something's going on with Rode. The Rode. Oh, so I can just put this on screen. The Rode Streamer X is now on sale for under 120 pounds. A price drop of over 180 pounds. It would suggest something is about to be released or end of sale. I don't know. Dylan, don't say anything. Obviously, you can't sometimes.
Nope.
But I'm guessing it's end of sale. Like I believe that might be coming to end of life with the Rodecaster video series out and everything it can do. I do like that's a personal thought. Obviously, I could be wrong. Happy Easter, folks. Clint, how's it going, Clint? Number of Rode products on substantial sale via Amazon and several physical stores here in Australia at the moment. Ooh, some substantial sales. I would love to know. Jess, how's it going, Jess? I had to refresh YouTube, didn't play the stream. I hate when that happens. Yes, happy Easter, OG Quasi.
Happy GF. Happy big GF.
I completely forgot today is Good Friday. I'm not practicing anything that recognizes we put out Easter eggs. It's about as far.
I just know because it automatically is populated into like every work calendar. Like Good Friday. That's what that day is. It's stat holiday. Good Friday.
There's no stat holiday in what we do. You don't get stat holidays, do you?
The only exception seems to be the U.S. Everybody else takes it off.
Really? So I guess Rode right now is, or all of the group is off. I wonder if
short week. It was a short week for them in Oz. And now again, it's not every industry. It's not like across the board. There's a ton of. Although I did find today trying to get groceries was fun.
Yeah,
trying to find a place that was open.
Yeah, you're looking at corner stores right now, man. Ooh, Shure released a Gen 2 of the MV2XU. Huh.
Nice.
Yeah, so you know Cornicky, right?
What?
You know Cornicky, right? Daryl Cornicky.
Yeah.
He's a morning show host here in Ottawa. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick one of those up. $139. Perfect.
Yeah.
So morning show host here in Ottawa. Where's my stream? There we go. He's got an old Shure 4-mic mixer that I'm picking up for $75. So that I gotta get. That's gonna be an interesting video. It's a perfect add-on for something like the 4-track behind me, because you can. Yeah, awesome. My mom said Good Friday is next week. I mean, Good Friday can be whatever Friday you want it to be.
Yeah, I guess any Friday can be a Good Friday.
Any Friday. Officially, I believe the world does celebrate it this Friday, or at least in Canada, U.S. Well, Dylan's saying around the world. So, Beresford Productions, greetings. So I'm changing things up just a touch, and I'm trying some concepts out. And this comes from a little bit of my morning show background, where not wanting to do prep, one of the easiest ways out would be like a situational question. And usually what that means is like saying something like, if you had to do this, what would you do? Let us know down below, blah, blah, blah. It's the call to action that you try to get your audience to participate in. And one of the things I was thinking about is, because, fleshing this show out, the Friday Live, with content that's repeatable, but people also somewhat show up for, while not ignoring the people in the sidebar, the comments, and making sure we can still engage and have fun chats and just be goofballs on a Friday. So I'm introducing something that would have, I used to hate doing on the radio because I hate taking phone calls, but we're just going to do like a question of the week, and it's usually a stupid question. And the reason I wanted to do this stupid question is I know Dylan's going to have some fun answers for me. And the first question for this Friday Live, the first week of this, Dylan, is if you had to, gun to your head, have a cover band, you had to participate in a cover band, you had to create one, who would that cover band be and why?
Man, and it's a tricky one. Okay, there's a resonating guitar beside me here. I'm not stalling.
Stall tactics.
I'm not stalling. I'm just surrounded by instruments. So there's a lot because there's a lot of music that's fun to play. I don't know, as a musician, right? Because that's the kind of cover band you want to be in. You want to be in a cover band that covers an artist that's fun to for you to play. Or ideally. And that sounds good, obviously,
Yeah.
all of that. But for me, I think the two the two ones kind of jumping above the rest of the crowd are either an AC/DC cover band. I could
Oh,
fucking
oh yeah.
murder an AC/DC cover band. In terms of like, I don't know, throw me on bass. I can work the bass. Throw me in lead, ideally. I really like to do the lead, but I do anything. And then a Taylor Swift cover band. Those would be my two
Oh
favorite.
yeah.
Two completely. And
So
and part of the reason for both of those is like I know the entire catalog in both of those examples. So in terms of like me having to learn anything, there wouldn't really be a lot that I would do. Like when I was a kid, I learned like every AC/DC song, which is basically one song. But
yeah.
it's just one very long song. Um, but yeah, those would be my two answers. Like, there's other bands. Like, I would be in a Chicago cover band. That'd be a lot of fun. Like a Dave Matthews Band cover band. I would do that.
Yeah. That'd
Um,
be fun. See, for me, it's all about the party experience when you're doing a cover. Let's get to a couple of these here. Jess is having a hard time figuring out when Easter is, but don't worry, Jess, you'll figure it out. Go with what your iPad says.
dude,
That's all I'm gonna say.
dude, a
What?
great big C cover band. Oh
Oh,
man. Oh
when I'm up, I
yeah.
can't get down. Especially if you
Yes.
have a pill for
Yeah,
that.
I know. As soon as you said like
Uh,
party band, I was like, oh yeah, what's a good like get people get energy going? Fuck yeah.
Jess says
Um,
my cover band would be Loveless. I love bands that can turn any song into a pop punk band. Yeah, see, I love when I think of covers. I usually think of one of two things. It's either got to be a true to life cover, so like you're dressing up as them. One of my favorite is Guns N' Effin' Roses, which is
mm.
the licensed cover band for Guns N' Roses, and these guys go all out to look like the band, sound like the band, everything about it. Or the cover band has to, like, if you've ever heard of Frog Leap Studios, he's the guy that turns pop songs into
Oh yeah.
metal songs.
Yep.
Uh, I love that kind of stuff. That's, to me, those are the two kind of things. I'd be Animal and Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem as a cover band. That is
I'd
awesome.
I'd have to evaluate it on a case by case basis because yeah, there's so many just I don't know, even going more alternative and like away from mainstream music. There's lots of like proggy stuff. I know a lot of times when I just barf out an instrumental music idea, it goes in like a proggy direction. So like a prog band, like a prog rock,
Yeah, yeah.
prog jazz, whatever. Just kind of number freaks, whatever you
Uh,
whatever you want to call it.
I'm getting to mine in a second. We got Outsider Jess saying I'm not doing Taylor at all. Taylor has become rather uh, controversial of a, not for
Yeah, I was gonna
everybody,
say it's
obviously.
it's it's one extreme or the other. It's like you'll either you love or hate. And there's a lot of I mean just historically public figures and stuff. There's a lot of
Yeah,
people that are
there's
like that.
Kanan Nightwolf. Greetings from Scotland. Uh,
Scotland.
we were watching your channel religiously recently and picked up myself an RE320. Cheers, man. Thank you.
Cheers.
I appreciate that. And I mean, I don't know if we have a ton of Scottish followers that come to the live stream, but that's cool. I think you're the first to admit that you're from Scotland on the live stream. I was just in Scotland a couple years ago and I want to move back there. Yeah. I like UK. If I had any skills at all, to be someone in a Prodigy cover band. Prodigy would be fun. Halicene is another pick, and Taylor is a billionaire, but also now people don't know if she's mega or not. Oh, your camera turned off. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're just playing with your thing. Playing with your thing
Oh,
on the
that's
live
what
stream,
that
dude.
does. Oh.
Fade to
I was
black.
like,
Yeah, it's
what is FTB? And then everything went away. I was like, oh, right.
yeah, it's
By
fade
the
to
way, I want
black.
to introduce. Yeah, this is the reality cam, as I've been calling it. This is my other view here, and then this is my Zhuge cam. This is me talking down the barrel of my Zhuge cam. The reality cam is just the webcam that used to be over there. That's now hooked up through the RCV, so I can show off. Par example, I've been doing lots of work this week with my. Dun, 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 dun.
You're
This is
still on
gonna
your
look like
original
shit.
camera. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Got my
Ooh.
my Rode NTR.
That's
This
also a
bad boy
wild
going on.
view. Everything that's in that frame when you were pointing that there, like the row of guitars, the
I know
alcohol.
it looks insane. Yeah. All of the good things in that shot.
That's insane.
There we
Jess,
go.
well, I want to try an RE320, but I feel it won't work on my voice. RE320 is one of the most appealing microphones across the board on a lot. It's very much got broadcast in its DNA.
There's
And
that
I'm not
word.
saying
There's that word again.
I'm not saying it will work on your voice, guaranteed. But I mean, if there's going to be the RE series from Electro Voice, if there's going to be a voice or a microphone that sounds good on you, it's going to be one of those. Just like when you listen to radio growing up, man, woman, child on those RE20s, they all sounded amazing. Now, granted, that was because of the processing, but still, they're
Yeah,
very, very
there
fun
is a
device.
lot of shit in between the microphone output and the speaker in your
Yeah.
car. There's a lot of pieces in that long chain. Yeah. Good sounding mic
Jessica,
though, and that was back when calling a broadcast mic actually had some kind of meaning to
meant
it.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is a Rode NTR? Jess wants to know.
It is a ribbon mic. It is a, well, I guess it's plugged in a phantom power. I probably shouldn't fuck with it. But it is it is a Rode, somewhat scarce now. They're not technically discontinued yet, but there's just some logistic stuff being worked out
Yeah,
with
there's
it.
no
But
reason to continue to make them.
well,
I mean,
but there's no plan to stop doing that. It's just that there's a bit of a some logistics that need to be worked out just in the manufacturing part of it.
yeah.
But and that's obviously, I think that's going on with a lot of shit right now, with how the world is. So that's not shocking. But it is a ribbon mic. It's, what is it, like 1,000, 1,200
Yeah,
bucks or something?
thousand Canadian rubles.
1,000 Canadian dollars. So 800 US, give or take.
Yep.
Great ribbon mic. I've been using it all this week on various acoustic guitars. I have 3 around me. I did some work yesterday with this Resonator, this Fender Resonator guitar, and I've got the NTR going into, it's a active ribbon mic, and so for those that have never worked with a ribbon before, ribbons traditionally require a fair amount of gain. What comes out of a ribbon mic in terms of voltage is quite low. So you need a lot of gain, and that's why ribbon mic preamps will have like 85 dB of gain or some ridiculous number, because that's what you're trying to drive. You have active ribbon mics that basically have what is essentially a built-in cloud lifter, a built-in mic activator of sorts, a preamp that is phantom powered that gives you, brings the mic into the range. And I'm really, that particular component of the Rode NTR, I'm the most impressed with, because it's very low noise.
Yes.
It's low noise, and so I've got it plugged into a Neve behind me. Actually, back to the, there we go. I've got it plugged into that Neve behind me. You can see that little red light on. And that has a ton of gain. That has like, I think 70 something dB of gain, but
yeah, but the NTR is not as gain hungry as some.
no, it's I don't know what it's set to right now, but it's not even near the top. Like, it's many notches before the maximum amount of gain. Because again, it's phantom powered, so it really makes up for it well. And what comes out of it is fairly low noise. It's still higher noise, like right now after processing and stuff. Some of the guitars, there's more noise than I would like. But a lot of it too, it's a warmer track, so I'm rolling off the highs a good amount anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Great ribbon mic though. Honestly, one of my favorites. I'm still really hunting for a second one so I can do a Blumline stereo pair with 2 of them, because that would be a ton of fun. But yeah, for the price, holy shit. If you can find an NTR, I recommend. I use it quite often.
The Dave 4369, very different from the Dave 4368. The Dave 4369 says, if you had to stick to one for the rest of your life, Rode or Shure. I'm going to go first on this. And it would be hard to give up the SM57 and 58, but Rode, like you're talking across the board, the Rode kind of sphere, the universe of Rode is so robust, and you can do so much with that. And yes, you can do the same with Shure, but I think I'd have to go with Rode. Like you even have the M1, the M2, like there's Shure, yeah, you got a lot of really cool stuff, but like interfaces and like there's so much more in the Rode universe. What about you, Dylan? You work for one of them, so
Yeah, I do. I'm on at this point. There's a lot of stuff that Shure has that's like super capable. Like, I was looking at the Beta 181. I don't know if you remember if
oh
you've
yeah,
seen the Beta 181. It is a side address pencil mic kind of
yep.
setup. It's in the obviously the Beta range, so precision made or whatever the fuck. And it, you can get Omni capsules for it. You can get cardioid capsules for it. I think there's even like a
Mhm.
figure 8 capsule you can get and screw them in. It's a really innovative kind of little interchangeable system. But then Rode's got like the NT4, which is actually a really fun little portable stereo mic array that's like super chunky and useful. And then the SF1 as well, which I still want to try to do a stereo recording with that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
gotta
don't know,
work on
man.
that.
I don't know. I've seen some of the stuff like Shure's doing like beam forming microphones for like in ceiling tiles for
Oh,
conference
those
rooms,
are
right?
so cool.
Like yeah, like Shure's doing stuff crazy in that direction, but then Rode is making fucking video switchers. So like I don't know. I don't
Well,
know,
it's
man.
also interesting to note that I'm like more from a voice perspective, from podcasting, and Dylan's more
I'm
from
just
music.
looking at it just overall, like as somebody that needs to make money making some kind of media, and needs to do it inexpensively. That's the other thing, because yeah, sure, like I forget there was a story about like a few of the some of the guys, and again, like Shure is worth every penny, right? We're there, this is
Yep.
not taking knocks at Shure, like 100 and whatever it is, $110 for a 58. Like shoot me, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But like there was a story about like some guys that left Shure as engineers or some I don't know. A story from many years ago, the lore of the audio industry, and they were selling like kind of knockoff 58s that they were building in a garage for fun for like $40 each.
That's
And they're
amazing.
like they're potted. It's the same transformer. It's the same capsule. They've done their own like housing for it. And it's like half the price. And they're like, yeah, this is total. And we're still making like a few bucks off of the back of this thing as well at that price. And so it's like, Shure is making a handsome amount of money
Oh,
off of
100%. Like
off of the
there's,
58s.
and
And
they
but it's,
have been
again,
for
that's
years.
amazing because those are quite price competitive products.
Let's get through some of this. Kanan Nightwolf, awesome dude. And yeah, I just watched y'all guys make a song with the Roadcaster duo, and the song was great. That's Great
Oh,
Big
thank
C,
you.
as we were
Yeah.
mentioning.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Um,
it's funny. What are the odds?
Chemical Workers song, yeah, that was a lot of fun, a lot of stress for Dylan, I think. But
I
yeah,
don't know about stress. It's just PCs are stupid.
fair,
PCs
fair.
are stupid.
PCs are stupid. Hey guys, good evening from London. Ori Retro Gamer,
I say
how's it
that by
going?
the way with a PC behind me
Yeah,
right now.
I've got a game right. My PC is straight gaming, man.
Yeah.
Hold on. Are they going to discontinue it? Then it adds value to have one. NTR, I don't think is going to be discontinued. I think it's just one of those things that they roll off. Like I was talking to Peter about that, and he said like the amount of money they spent on tooling just to be able to do a ribbon microphone. So
Yeah. Yeah,
when
and
you
it's one
look
of
at,
those things. It's one of those things like the answer was like like, well, we're probably going to sell, 100 of these. We're really going to sell 100 of these. And we're not going to, and we're spending, how many millions of dollars. Why are we doing it? Well, because we're a microphone company. We got to
yeah,
have a ribbon mic. We're a microphone company.
but
That's the rationale that you need, which I love that. I love that. That's
yeah,
fantastic. And
so
make a fucking work of art of a ribbon mic. Like, hang on, it's not gonna be happy with me, but it's fine.
and like I just got to point out that they're not going to be selling the tooling on Facebook Marketplace.
No,
It's
no,
not
like all
so.
of this stuff will, and everything at some point gets discontinued, but to my knowledge, this thing is a freaking work of art.
Yep.
And we even, talked about it internally. It's somewhat legendary. In its design, this, really solid metal.
Dark and rich. And people are going to give you shit for having the screw in, eh? The stabilizing screw.
Oh yeah.
Everybody gives me literally the amount of comments on there about you should take the stabilizing screw out. Yeah, but it's a stabilizing screw. That's not a bad thing. I don't think it's going to change the.
If I take it out, I'm gonna lose it, and then that box is the only thing that I have really to comfortably transport this thing, which is annoying because it's a bit of a bulky box. But I think I put it in a sleeve once, and I literally like carried it in my hand to the gig because I was so worried about it getting like fucking knocked.
I went for
yeah,
it
the
because I
box.
love the sound of it with my voice. I feel it'd be best suited to it with Scottish tones. I need something that pick up what I'm actually saying. Yeah, that's interesting. Like with the Scottish tones you're talking about.
Ones.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, how would you discuss, because nobody, the ribbon mics, what makes them interesting? Well, they have not a ton of high end. They have really smooth, consistent kind of lows, and a lot of that has to do with they react slower. They're slower to they're not as reactive as like a small diaphragm condenser capsule is. So, but still, at the same time, as much as they're warmer, they capture so much like mid-range detail.
Yeah.
It's wild. Like the stuff that is kind of well within their kind of frequency zone, like the amount of detail, especially again, recording a resonator with it and then having the Neve on the back end to like shape it. Holy shit, that's butter. It was just butter coming off of this thing. 12 string also sounds fantastic on a ribbon mic. A lot of that shrill, like knife through your ears of the high frequencies of a 12 string on a normal condenser mic. This thing just smooths it right out. It's fucking awesome.
Liberty Dude, well, there's a real difference between broadcast and basement streamer use of the term broadcast, just like the term professional. That said, when used in proper context.
We were knocking, what was it, the AT 2024? Or what was it? 2040. Yeah. Yeah, that way they called itself a broadcast mic, and I was like, what are you doing? What are you talking about?
Yeah, SE Dynacaster is great. Okay, so I'm going to get to Liberty Dude. The term used with low-budget mics means not designed for a handheld is top-end address and design. So cover bands, if I could be in a cover band, I've got two, Dylan. Muddy Waters is the first.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Blues to the core. I grew up with Muddy Waters. I grew up listening to the blues. Jeff Healey was one of my main influences growing up. The second one is Manowar. Do you know Manowar?
Yeah.
I know we got some Europeans in the crowd, and Europeans will definitely know Manowar as one of the most ridiculous singing about Odin. There's something about that band, and I don't believe in guilty pleasures because pleasures are pleasures, right? Like it doesn't matter. There's nothing to feel guilty about in music. Man, I started listening to some Manowar, and it brought me back like 25, 30 years to when I started listening to them. And holy crap, some of the best catchy music I've ever listened to in my life. And I got to go see a concert of them, but it would be so easy to play. Like, Manowar's the top of my list for sure.
Well, that's it. Like, there's so many, like, okay, so there's cover bands that would be easy. I'm choosing one that would be easy and just fun to be in. But like, yeah, there's a lot of like, I don't know, like dark Celtic metal and shit that I have playlists of.
Oh yeah.
And like I'm like, oh yeah, man.
Or Heil Lung.
Yeah.
Yeah, Heil Lung is one of my favorites. They use actual bones, like human bones, and they play.
Yeah. I love that shit. Yeah, see, it's like there's just so much. I don't know. I just any band playing it, like that's it. My brain doesn't really differentiate like covers versus. It's like I don't know if it's fun music to play. It's fun music to play. If it's an original band that plays fucking cool shit, I'd be like, damn straight. And that's a very broad for me anyway. That's a broad range. There's everything in that spectrum in there that's fun to play.
I like a UK NTR, very cool looking mic. Bit overkill for team Zoom call, but would be cool. Yeah.
No, yeah,
Um,
it's funny. That's you know what I've never tried to do with this NTR. I've never tried to mount it to like the PSA One Plus.
I mean, I did.
I should see. I should try that.
I did. I reviewed it off the PSA One Plus. The yeah,
And it held.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nice.
I mean, you can tighten the screws on the PSA One Plus. Sorry for. Am I gonna get it in shot? Yeah, there it is. This little knuckle here, you can tighten the knuckle, and if you've got something that's a little too heavy, you can switch it up. There we go. Get back on there. Okay. What would be the advice to look after a ribbon mic? Ori Retro Gamer. Keep it in its box when you're not using it, and don't drop it.
Yeah, don't ever drop it. Don't expose it to like ridiculously high SPLs. Like don't use it for a kick drum and like double kick metal core. Like don't use it for something that is, you know, and again, they can still take a beating, right? Like especially modern ones, they're designed I know ribbon mics traditionally are very delicate, fragile little things, but obviously, and it's funny. I just took that set screw. I put it back in. I know. I like how it looks with the little thing coming at the top. I know people say you should take it off, but I'm like, it's a nice looking little piece of metal. I don't know. I don't mind it there. And if I take it off, I'm gonna lose it. It's gonna go somewhere, and I'm never gonna see it again.
Beresford says, I don't have a specific band I'd like to cover, just any song that has a bass line that would sound funky on a tuba. Brass Against.
Nice. Yeah. Nice.
Killing in the Name of on a tuba. I would listen to that.
No, yeah, there's applications for that. No,
there's a pill for that.
There's an app for that.
Kilobyte 808, happy Friday. Cheers, brother.
Kilobyte.
Damn, I don't know what an SPL is, but I do occasionally drop mics. SPL, Jess, is sound pressure level. So when you talk about the SPL, so sound, audio, is basically pressure waves. It's just, yeah.
Don't fuck it up, Aiden.
The louder something is, the heavier the pressure. So most microphones have condensers and dynamics are at about 140 dB, where they can take up to 140 dB. Some are a little less, some are a little more. But yeah, so it's the sound pressure level of whatever sound is going into the microphone. Winging it is not easy, man, because I know you're sitting there and I'm like, talking about sound waves and trying to envision that like ripples in water, and it's really hard to, because you never know what level you have to explain it at as well. And it's not.
No, I think there's a way that you can distill it. Okay, so sound, what our ears detect as sound is changes in air pressure, oscillating changes in air pressure. So, you know, when we say air pressure, little air particles floating around, less pressure, they're spread further apart, more pressure, they're closer together. And so when you do something like clap, just when I did that, there was such a difference in air pressure so fast around my hand as my skin sealed with the middle of my hand, that just blasts out in every direction in these waves. And that's what a sound wave is. And so a microphone is a transducer that takes that air pressure movement, that change in air pressure, and turns it into a voltage. And so when we talk about like dB SPL, you'll hear SPL mentioned a lot with microphones and speakers because it has to do with acoustics. And anytime you see dB SPL, it's an acoustical representation. I forget what it is. Somebody's going to correct me, but I think it's like it's like 92 or 94 dB SPL correlates to 1 Pascal of like 92 pressure change. Something like that.
Is it 92 or 94? Now I'm questioning myself.
No, it's
why'd you have to say that?
Something in there. Again, I don't deal with. I should probably know that by heart by now. But I have SPL meters. I don't need to care about the Pascal reading.
94 dB SPL.
94.
I was right.
That's 1 Pascal. Yeah,
92, and then I'm like, wait a second,
yeah, and
no.
so, I forget what it is. Like 0 dB SPL is supposedly about, just to give you an idea, as a reference point, is about the sound of a mosquito flying from 3 meters away.
What is say that again? So what is what?
So like 0 dB SPL,
Oh,
like
okay,
0
yeah, yeah.
decibels sound pressure
Yeah.
level is like about the volume of a mosquito flying 3 meters away from you. That's about how loud that is. 0 dB.
That's
Um,
yeah. I mean,
So
it's
in theory, there are like minus dBs SPL because that's not the absolute quietest thing, but it's pretty damn close.
yeah, no, it's pretty damn close.
But yeah, so we're talking about SPL. That's what we're talking about. And so the difference there is full scale DBFS is digital, and then DBU or DBV or DBM, and there's a few other ones as well. But they're
you never
they're
deal
both
with DBM. Well,
voltage or
not
wattage.
on our side of it. We don't deal with DBM.
No, yeah,
DBV.
DBM it tends to be a amplifier transmitter kind of thing. And that because it's a power, it's a bit per milliwatt, is it? I think dB milliwatt.
It's
Again,
been a
that's
long time
how
since I learned that.
rarely. Yeah, I mainly deal with DBU, which is calibrated, so 0 dB is at 0.775 volts, is 0 dB U, and then DBV is 1 volt.
Yes. Think of
Aiden
farts
knows
on a
all of
cushion.
it.
Well, yeah, it's the problem is do you like you refer to it as distilling, but there's multiple stages of, and it has nothing to do with intellect. I don't want anybody to think
No.
that
What
you're
it
not
has
smart.
to do with it has to do with kind of short and long term memory. Like I work with this stuff regularly, so that stuff is really close to my short term memory.
Yes.
Aiden doesn't work with all of that stuff as regularly, so it's in his long term memory and it's tucked away, and it needs like a key to unlock and remind him of that
But
information.
also when you're going through it and you're like the distilling process between your brain and your mouth, and then
Yeah.
you're talking about like the level at which people are going to they're going to absorb the information, which is really difficult to do, and a lot of people struggle with that.
Know. Yeah, it's totally possible that what I just said made no sense. So if what I just said made no sense, then don't. Yeah, it doesn't make you stupid. It just means that I picked a strategy to explain that wasn't compatible with your learning style.
But what I started out by saying is it's not about an intellect level, because, for example, if you're going to talk about running an electrical circuit through a room, and let's say you're running multiple circuits or loops, or it's lost on me. I suck at doing anything electrical, and it's not because I'm dumb. It's just that shit just does not absorb. It's been explained to me millions of times. So don't take it like, oh my God, that like I'm dumb or these people. No, it's not about that. And that's why like it can be hard on the fly to distill stuff like that. So yeah, and I'm so used to writing it out in a script where I'm like, okay, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna make this make sense. So
but
very well
scripting,
distilled, Dylan.
Yeah, I'm so used. Like I know I spend so much of my job talking with random people around the world on meetings that you get kind of used to freewheeling certain things a little bit. Especially I don't know.
I got an OG Quasi question that's going to be awesome. Just give me a second. Let me get through a few of these. CKY is one of the greatest guitar riffs. I'd try to cover that. Nice. I was thinking about doing an April Fool's video on the best audio gear in video games, and I will recommend the worst gears in games imaginable. That I struggle with April Fool's Day, and like I know there's a lot of creators that do like April Fool's videos. I know there's a ton of people that hate it. I'm also not like big into April Fool's Day. I thought about doing something, but I should have actually checked with the audience to see what they thought. But yeah, I considered it. Works on time to hit that double-sized cup of tea. Tea.
Man, Pearl got me. That video that I sent you on Facebook where Pearl was like, "Hey, you can get this compressed air that you spray into your drums and it improves. They got me. I say it was like, yo, that's such bullshit. And then when I saw that it was Pearl, like the Pearl, like the drum
Yeah.
company, I was like, oh no, this is
Yeah, they're
fucking
screwing with you.
those fuckers.
And I got to complete the loop here for Ori Retro Gamer. He said, think of farts on cushions. If you break the chair, it's too much SPL. That is actually rather apt.
Yeah, no, somehow that works.
Your
yeah.
cushion has a specific SPL for farts. And if you can break a cushion with a fart, you are a god. Jerker, hello. Sorry for missing out on last week. I was busy with my own birthday. Man, that's a streak. I think you broke a streak of like, I don't know. I would love to go through and see what the streak is for Jerker being on our streams. And the amount of times I've said Jerker over the years.
Jerker.
This is the question. OG Quasi says, isn't dB like a logarithmic scale? So 3 dB is doubling the actual sound pressure.
Yeah, and so this is what is hard. So the sound that comes away from something, like something that makes a sound, it leaves that following the inverse square law. So every time you double the distance, you get 25% the strength. And so, it's when you're right next to like a headphone, obviously anyone who knows this, right next to a headphone, yeah, everything is balanced there. As soon as you move like an inch away, it's like nothing. And then an inch further than that, and like all the bass is gone. Like there's this logarithmic kind of thing. But yeah, decibels are a logarithmic scale. And so the whole point of decibels is it's got a logarithmic relationship to some kind of reference. So for SPL, that reference is allegedly whatever the representation is for a mosquito flying 3 meters away. That's the reference for SPL.
Which is so fucking random.
Yeah, for DBV and DBU, it's a voltage. So DBU is a little bit lower voltage than DBV. For DBFS, it is all ones. It is a sample that is entirely comprised of ones. Traditionally, we're not talking about floating point, but we're fixed point, like 0 dBFS 24-bit is 24 ones in that data stream. So and there are all these, it's good to know what decibel you're talking about, because it's just quite literally and there's other instances of decibels. These are just the more common in audio. But there's lots of usages. In fact, I think the Bell measurement, because a decibel, and hence why it's a lowercase d and a capital B, is because it's a tenth of a bell. And a bell as a measurement, I think, was originally come up with for telecommunicate, like telephone lines, to measure like signal strength or something, like across. I don't know. Somebody there knows the answer to that, but there's some relationship there to the conjuring of the unit decibel.
And you started going over my head there too. So, Liberty
Dude there's a whole history there.
Liberty Dude says, sadly, as you get older, questioning your intellect is a much different process for much different reasons. I will agree with you. I was watching, I forget what it's called, but it's about a killer. He's a paid killer, and he's got whatchamacallit, where you start losing your memory. Yeah, that Alzheimer's. Thank you. God damn. And so you start questioning, because I'm forgetful. I will forget things mid speech, and I'm like, I was just saying that person's name. What's their name again? And yeah, I'll literally be going, am I going insane? Do I have Alzheimer's? And it's like, no, actually, because I can still remember, numbers down to a ridiculous level. And those are the concerning things when you start to forget that stuff. But yeah, I agree. As you get older, your intellect starts to be questioned differently in different ways, and it's fascinating.
Well, I think that's what they say is, like, as you get older, your crystallized intelligence increases, but your fluid intelligence decreases. Yep. And so your fluid intelligence, your ability to like adapt to new situations, and your ability to absorb completely new information, that gets tougher. But then as you get older, if you're doing what everybody should be doing as they get older, which is you learn more things, you pull from a more vast array of experiences and of knowledge, then, even though you might not be able to absorb that stuff now as quickly as you did before, you've got all that past wisdom and experience.
Liberty Dude, I'm one of those that hates effective April Fool's videos, but I'm not a prank or hazing fan. Yeah. And this is kind of what I wanted to like touch on. And the reason I didn't do it is I know there's like, to me, it's I find some amusement in certain things, but there comes a point on April 1st where I'm annoyed by it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see anymore. Like I used to work in the radio, and the problem when you're a morning show host on the radio is you're scouring for information the day of. And man,
Yeah.
you wake up April 1st for content, you have to be so careful about what you grab. And there
God.
comes a point you're supposed to stop at noon, but people don't. Like people don't take
Oh
the
God, well,
videos down.
especially like, I'm thinking of dude, like I'm thinking like newscasters,
Yeah.
right? Like people that are looking for news. It's like, yeah, watch out, make sure it's not from the Beaverton or from the Onion or from because everything becomes those places. Like obviously those places do that 24/7, but like, on April Fool's Day, yeah, and information on social media especially is sketchy at best these days. So even on April Fool's Day, it's like don't even go on the internet. Just don't go on the
Yeah.
internet at all.
Nope.
And
No,
I
don't
don't mind
believe
it.
anything.
Yeah, it's like how far do you take it? That's my thing. It's like if you to make it a full on thing, then all right, that's too much. But like I don't know, a phone call and then something shocking to start at the phone call and then April Fool's. Sure, fine, I don't care. Why not?
Yeah,
Haha.
a good example would be Linus Tech Tips with the OnlyFans that they set up. And they did a whole video about them starting an OnlyFans. And they actually ran that OnlyFans for several months, making a ton of money. But it had no nudity. It was just
No,
ridiculously
it was just them,
funny
but
stuff.
it was them using it as a
Um,
membership service. That's
yeah,
hilarious.
and it was funny, but you instantly knew it was an OnlyFans, and that's what Jess says. I like April Fool's videos that aren't clickbait, but if I was able to do one, I'd make it obvious it's a joke. That's why I posted what I posted about turning this channel into an ASMR eating channel of me on
Oh
a
God, nice ASMR mukbangs.
well,
Yeah,
and it was going to be me sitting on a yoga ball, shirtless, eating stuff into a microphone, and
eating chicken wings.
and then I finished it with "Don't believe everything you see on the internet today." Ugh. Yeah, I know the visuals, right? The visuals.
Yeah, that hit hard. Needed
That
a sip
just
of something for that.
Beresford, that disease where you lose your memory. What's that called again? Yeah, I'm so bad at that. I
Nice, yeah.
literally every part of me is I used to write out my breaks on the radio because I would literally start talking about, and I'm like, well, you know, the guy from the show.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
my brain just does not work in that way. So
No,
yeah,
and it's again, it's like people like who is it? Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs had a unbelievable working memory. The amount of shit that he could just have at the top of his brain when giving a presentation, and if he got hit with something, boom, answer. There was an answer.
yep.
It
I just
was
I just
smooth
can't
as
do
hell.
that.
Yeah, I have never had that many gigabytes in my short-term memory.
Nope.
And so I really do well with some form of cueing. Ideally a script, but sometimes that's not always practical. And so at least some form of like, hey, here's a general roadmap for what's happening and what
So
to say. Because I will get off course. As we
Elgato,
know, Jesus, how many times a week?
I like it. UK Elgato has a good April Fool's video / product. I didn't see it. My favorite one of all time was Gmail. This was like I think like almost 10 years back where they announced a new service where it's actual mail and you write it on a piece of paper and send it to them and they'll get it to the proper person. So it's basically a mail service. That was probably one of my favorites. Thank you for not doing that, Aiden. Liberty Dude. Come on, man. I didn't have to be shirtless. Uh, I have considered doing a secondary video channel, not ASMR, obviously. God, I have misophonia. I couldn't do it. I couldn't edit it.
Oh man, yeah, you got to get like super intimate with it.
Well, if you're editing ASMR, you gotta and like eating
Yeah, yeah.
sounds. No, but
I mean, you
I
got
have.
all the microphones for it, that's for sure.
But that's the thing. Like I'm trying to conceptualize. So one of the like the other channel that I had that I just don't have time for was a storytelling channel, and that was one that's B-roll heavy and finding all the B-roll. But I don't have time for that stuff, and I don't have the money to get an editor for it. So it's going to be a while until I get an editor that I can do that, which sucks. But I've been considering like what are the types of channels I could do, And like I've talked to Dylan about just turning this into a podcast and actually creating a podcast about audio that we could put out and,
Right.
have a little bit of fun with that. And that's probably going to be a thing when we can figure out our schedule a little bit closer and we can be in the same, because if we're doing a new product, it's not going to look like this. The
No.
Friday Live, I would love it to be in the same place as well.
Oh yeah. I think if it was convenient, and we were just happen to be working in the same, like we pick Friday as one of my, like, I'll work out of the share space day, um, or whatever
Yeah.
it is. But yeah, we'll see. There's some opportunities down the
We're
road.
I'm still looking. I think the photographer I was working with to get a place, he's
Which one?
struggling to. He doesn't think it's going to happen. We're looking into some grants. I'm still looking at, like, if I got 1,000 square feet for myself, that'd be enough for Dylan and I to work in easily.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of the goal. It's about $2,500 a month, which is very doable. So yeah, there's going to be something happening. It's just a matter of really knuckling down and buying it, and just getting
Knuckle
it done.
down.
So, but there's some stuff, like I was just talking to Dylan before the stream. There's some stuff about to happen with this channel that's very big, and
Yeah.
that stuff has to happen before I can concentrate on getting space and doing that. But there's one specific thing that's supposed to happen around NAB, and I'm hoping that at NAB I can, like, bleh, and tell you all about it. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Jerker Kit Kat announced April 1st that they had 12 tons of their supply stolen during transport, and so many companies joined the bandwagon, hinting at them stealing it. But it was no joke. The theft was real. There was a couple of them that I really loved. That knowing that it was real made it better. But that also sucks for Kit Kat. When recording stereo, when you have two mics on a bar, is there a science for how far apart you put them? Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah.
It's
You
the
answer
distance
that.
from the. It's a 3-to-1 rule from the distance from the thing you're recording, unless it's XY. So, like, if you're
So
doing like AB, they have to be 3 times, or yeah, it's 3 times the width as the distance from the sound source. Dylan, you want to counter that?
yeah. So it's fully dependent. So how far the mics are apart. So number one most important thing is that if you're stereo micing them, and the purpose of that pair is to be a stereo pair, they need to be equidistant from the center of the sound source. So a good example of that you'll see very frequently is drum overheads, whether they are AB or well, XY, they're already in the same place. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But like, they should be in whatever they are, they should be kind of an isosceles or whatever. It depends on how close you want the sound, but they should be equidistant from the sound source, because if you try to mix and match those, and you have a little further away, sound travels at a certain speed. It's like 1,130 feet per second. And so if you have something physically further away, the sound will arrive at that microphone later, which is not good. Especially if your audio at some point gets collapsed down to mono again. That's really not good. That's particularly not good. And so, yeah, when you're stereo miking, it depends on the as far as how far the two mics are away from each other. It depends on what you're going for stereo wise. XY, they're like right on top of each other, basically, in
Yes.
a 90 degree or 110 degree apart kind of splay. And you can get a lot of mics, like the Rode NT4 is a good example. It's basically two NT5, although apparently those aren't the same capsules on there. They're a different capsule. But anyway, similar mic to the NT5, mounted in a XY configuration. Then you got ORTF, which is like spread out. And I forget the exact distance for that. You remember that, Aiden? ORTF?
Yeah, I don't remember the exact distance.
That's the French CBC radio one, and it's pretty good. I don't use it very often. Mid-side, again, right on top of each other.
Yes.
You can get a lot of great stereo images. With drums AB, like the width of the kit, and then I usually try to make sure that the positioning of them is somewhat symmetrical, so I don't have one mic that looks like that. Like if they're both leaning in a certain degree, I'll have it try to keep that stuff symmetrical so that the sound is symmetrical. I know that's the logic. It seems to be effective. Um,
Steve, we got to go in a few. I'll just blow through a few of these. Steve
yeah,
said
yeah,
I did
right through
Google ASMR. I guess I'm losing it also.
it.
Yeah. If you haven't been exposed to ASMR, no reason to Google it. You're gonna run into a
Yeah,
lot of really gross videos. The only
that
ones
that's
that I
yeah, you will.
the only ones I liked were like the leather workers. There was a leather worker I used to watch that did a lot of ASMR. Peter McKinnon did a whole video of him editing a video with the ASMR. He edited on or no, he edited a photo on an iPad, and it was just the clicks of the pen on the iPad and that was a
Oh
very
yeah,
popular
the
video.
tapping,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that'd be good.
So Ori Retro Gamer, there's nothing that's going to be able to be said about this. I'm going to tell Dylan what the question is, and Dylan's probably going to say, I have nothing to say. I recently tried to record a live band with my Rodecaster Pro 2. Do you think we'll get a Rodecaster Pro 3? And if so, what would you want added to the Rodecaster 2 for that purpose? I don't think there's any way we can go near this for Dylan's sake.
I yeah,
I don't know what's there, but I can tell you if there is anything in the pipe at all. Yeah.
I will say all of the, and similar to what I said with the Mackie question that came up a while ago about the what was it, the DLZ series. And so I'll kind of give a similar answer, which is all of the people and use cases that the Rodecaster series of products aims to satisfy, and all the customers that those products serve, we're still loyal to all those groups of people. And so whatever the things are that come up in the future will satiate that market. That is my answer.
Perfect. Yeah, and I'll get you away from that so we don't have to mess around with that. Liberty Dude, Soundspeeds did an example of a April Fool's Day that I hated. It was effective. He started a video, then had a 30-minute buffering circle play. That's evil.
You douche. Yeah, you
Yeah.
douche. Fuck you. Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah. What pop filter do you think is best for an RE320? By the way, are you good without one? Yeah, RE20s, the RE series. There's a specific brand, I forget what it is, but it's just that little circle one that fits on a piece. It's all the broadcast ones have it. You don't really need one. Position the microphone at 45 degrees to your mouth, aimed at the corner of your mouth, and you should be fine with the RE series. Specifically,
yeah, they're pretty forgiving.
Yes.
They're pretty forgiving for pops. Same with the SM7B. You just kind of point it off axis, and you just keep right up here, but away from the wind flow, and you're usually good. You just got to get, and also like Aiden and I in school, we had to learn how to talk without doing that, which is fucking fun.
Everybody gives me shit for this, and I just want to point this out. Do you know how difficult it is to talk into a microphone on camera while being animated?
Yeah, and not. Yeah.
It's almost freaking impossible. I can sit there with a microphone and do voiceover without a pop filter, not pop it, and have no problem because I know the technique. But when you're on camera and you've got to not just stand there like this and be like Wooden Man. No.
Wooden Man.
Screw that. Anyways, Pineapple Parakeet. Cheers, bud. I haven't seen you in a while. My room acoustics are so bad, every single sound reverbs and sounds too loud, and can't solve it. Should I still mix with speakers or with headphones at this point? Headphones seems better in an untreated room. God, it's better in an untreated room. What I will say about that Pineapple or Parakeet, however you go, Mr. Parakeet, some rooms it's not about. Sometimes the dimensions of a room are so perfect. And perfectly bad, I mean by that it's just you can put up a lot of sound dampening stuff, and it just won't really do much. My father-in-law, who used to work for EMI, he was the head engineer for EMI Canada. He loves to tell this story about one time all the suits came to him and they're like, Dan, we're building a room, but it can't have any, we're not going to play music in it whatsoever. is this okay? And Dan's like, well, you know, that's not going to happen. So we need to build the room. They're like, no, 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 no. We're not going to play any music in it whatsoever. And the suits basically drew up this concept for a room that had a glass wall in it. And it was so bad that unless you were standing in a very specific part of the room, you wouldn't be able to hear people talking over each other. And on top of that, you'd play music in the room. And after you hit pause, it would take about 3 seconds for the music to stop.
Yeah, RT60 to the max.
And there's some rooms that literally cannot handle audio or sound.
There is a
At
building. There is a building here in Ottawa that I had to do a gig in once with this actually VL1642 behind me, a VLZ Pro. And it was, I think it's City of Ottawa Horticulture building, and it's long and kind of tall, but it's concrete, glass. And the glass is one of the long sides of this and fucking brutal because the stage was facing the glass. So the sound would bounce off of the glass, then come back, hit the concrete, and then go right into their microphone. And feedback was like unbelievably problematic.
That's called the wall of sound. Right there.
Yeah, that was horrible. And that's like an event space. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, Jesus.
So we got to jump through this. Why don't stereo recordings with matching mics cancel each other out? Liberty Dude, you're about to get a very mathematical. Dylan, do you want to cover this?
Stereo recordings. Say
with
that
matching
again.
microphones. With matching microphones. Why don't stereo recordings cancel each other out? So if you have
so when we say matching, we mean like a stereo matched pair, I assume.
Yes.
And then why don't they cancel each other out? Because the world is not perfect. If you had an anechoic, like a perfectly anechoic chamber, which perfectly does not exist in anywhere in acoustics, there is no such thing as perfect anything. And so, but anyway. As nearly perfect anechoic chamber, and you had a microphone, 2 microphones positioned that were matched, and you had them equidistant from the sound source speaker, and then you pan them or you flip the phase on one of them, they would cancel out because they're recording exactly the same thing. But the way sound bounces around a space is very 3-dimensional, and 2 microphones can be really close together. In fact, they could be like side by side, facing the same direction, and what they receive will be slightly different. It won't be very different if you do it that way, but it will be slightly different. It'll be decorrelated enough that you're not going to have as much phase cancellation. Where you get the cancellation is, again, if you put the stereo mics in different positions in the waveform's path. And so, you know, the sound pressure, the air pressure wave hits the first microphone, travels a little bit more, hits the second microphone that's 2 inches back further or whatever from the sound source. And then you're going to get the pattern coming off of whatever you're trying to capture is going to be delayed by that number of milliseconds, basically. So, yeah, stereo miking, again, you're trying to, with all of the stereo miking techniques, is pretty much most of them, to my knowledge, you pan hard left, hard right. Mid-side is the weird one, but it's effectively the same thing. You know, we're not going to get into mid-side, but you're trying to decorrelate the sound in a certain way to achieve a certain objective. So the problem I have with XY, and the reason why I don't use XY, and I don't knock it, there's lots of recorders that are kind of hardwired as XY, and it's fine. I don't find it's the most natural sounding stereo pattern. If you're trying to capture something in the way that, like me closing my eyes, sitting here listening to this space, or if I had my head in front of a guitar, XY doesn't capture like that for me. It's a little bit more narrow than I would like, which makes sense because the capsules are kind of on top of each other. And so you got like AB, ORTF. Again, mid-side also has the capsules very close together, but it kind of blends them in a way where actually they're a little further apart. I don't know. It's weird. I could go on, but I won't.
Okay, so Jerker, you may want to delve into the world of unintentional ASMR silent PC builds or leather workers, as you said. That community is also way less to feature ASMRists who only do it as a front for their OnlyFans. Yeah, ASMR can generally be extremely dangerous because of the intimate settings, big chances of parasocial relationships developing. I actually had a talk with an ASMRist from Nova Scotia about this recently. Yeah, and I don't I like certain aspects of ASMR. Um, and you're right about the OnlyFans thing. It's really taken off for the last
Yeah,
10 years with women.
there's an innocent side of ASMR, and then there's a not so innocent side of ASMR. And it's
Yeah,
all kind of blended, and there's not clearly delineated between those two areas. Like there's like you said, there's like shop working ASMR where somebody is like I watched a thing where a guy was whittling wood, right? He was whittling away wood with a hand chisel, and just there was this sound. I was like, oh, that's kind of a nice texture.
yeah,
And then yeah, and then there's stuff that is just fully sexual,
yep.
in nature, and then there's everything in between. So, but I think the overall concept is some people get a tingly sensation on the back of their head when they hear quiet sounds. That
Yep.
that is ASMR in a nutshell.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I don't foresee myself doing it. I will
some
say.
people are susceptible to it. I am susceptible to that sensation. A lot of people are not. Generally, the more open-minded of a person you are, the more likely you are to be susceptible. The less open-minded, the less likely you are to be susceptible to that. But
Okay, we got two more and we got to go. Dylan, this is Andrew trolling you. Dylan, how far
yeah,
apart are your mixing audio speakers and angle metric, please?
no idea. They are an isosceles triangle, and I listen to them with my eyes closed. And if something that is coming out of both of them at the same volume sounds like it's coming out of the middle, then I'm in a good spot. Now I should say, sounds like it's coming from the middle across the frequency domain, because if you've got weird placement issues, sometimes in the low mids it'll sound like it's coming from the middle, but then your high frequency will be all weird and phasey. So they're in a position such that is not the case acoustically, at least to my ears.
Thomas
So that's my
Blanco, final one, and just says hello, first time here. Welcome, by the way. Greetings
Welcome.
from Argentina. I'm sorry if this is OOC out of context, but I saw so many mics and I'm losing it. I need 3 to 4 mics for a streaming podcast, around $60 to $100 US dollars each. Could you help? Your best bet is just get anything. Honestly, like when you're starting a podcast and you've got like a budget, a cheap budget, and I'm not trying to demean it, that you should start your podcast with a cheap budget. If you can go get some used SM58s, you will definitely get them in that 60 to 100 US dollars. If you can find them, go get any number of handhelds. The Mackie 89D, ES89D, EM89D. Those ones brand new are definitely, I think they're only $70 US in that area. Perfect. And it's something that you can sell to a band if your podcast doesn't work out. So it's just those little handheld mics are great for bands. So when if you decide that, hey, I'm not going to be a podcaster anymore and you need to ditch the gear, you can sell them off really quickly. And if you decide, hey, wow, I've got because I did double thumbs up or something. I don't know. Anyways. And if you decide that you're going to upgrade, you can also sell those mics off to bands. So you just don't go too extreme, and it doesn't matter what you buy. Just don't buy like the exit. Don't go super cheap. I was about to name a brand. I'm not going to. Anyways, I am going to get out of here before I get myself into trouble. Cheers, guys. Thanks everybody for showing up on Good Friday, and happy Easter to everybody who celebrates, and to anyone else, happy 4-day weekend, or at least 3-day weekend for most. I think it's a 3-day weekend here. I'm so out of touch because I don't work a real.
Hope you get at least one day off.
Cheers, guys. Have a great weekend.
Cheers.